with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. It's a freaking Thursday. Did I ever tell you guys about the time I was with Puzzle Bitch and he comes home from work? Did I lose internet? Did something happen? Did the chat's not working? Holy shit. I mean, the chat's working on Twitch, but it's not working anywhere else. That's wild. Are we on stream? And I can the weed thing isn't working. Try to do the rips thing. I don't think it's working right now. I don't think your emotes are working. Okay, chat is back. We're good. That website was offline. I can check if it's back. Nope, it is still offline. 504. Oh God, now I gotta smoke a lot of weed. Chat return. I knew the no weed thing was going on. There might be a hosting issue because it seems to be affecting streaming things apparently. I forgot the story I was starting to tell. Completely spaced on it. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Then again, I read a story about people with long COVID, how it takes them years to recover and a lot of rest to get back to normal. And I was like, fuck, I've had COVID like 2 or 3 times now. A routing error, not a website. Well, the website was down. It was 504 when I went to the website. I love watching you lose your mind. It may just be brain fog from the COVID. That's possible. I didn't know that they had chocolate milk soup. That's not a thing I didn't know existed. Princess Kimberly, good evening. I don't know if I told you good evening. I gotta take 3 hits. What? Malt beverage. Chocolate malt. Nestle Milo. Never heard of. What in the fuck is this shit? Powdered chocolate malt beverage with 8 vitamins and minerals to help support your child's healthy lifestyle. I don't need support with my healthy life. I assure you that my lifestyle is not healthy in any way. Now, this is how hard I laugh when I see another Pope is going to die. How many of you in the chat have not ever went through a Pope coronation? Because it's a whole event. And we'll have to cover it because the news will be all over it. I don't want to have to cover it, but we'll have to cover it because it'll be a huge thing. It's kind of like the Olympics. You can't escape it. Men in dresses. The smoke in the chimney thing, yes. Yeah, Curiouser was asking me, like, how many popes have we had? like in our lifetime. I'm like, John Paul Benedictus Francis. And I was like, unless there was another one before John Paul that we were too young to remember. And she's like, no, I think it was John Paul. Avalon, I don't wanna be pedantic on you, but I don't think the last one died. I think Benedictus retired, and that's how Francis was selected. I think Benedictus is still alive, isn't he? Or did he? He died a couple of years ago. Maybe that's it. Energy flow. A gender non-specific. Hey, you guys. It's a for life, or you can retire. Quesadilla. Question marks. Yeah, John Paul was the Pope going back to the Cold War? Okay. Then yes, he was the Pope for like all of my early life then. Then we got Benedictus in like 2005. And then we got Francis around 2012, 2013, something like that. That sounds about right. 2013 probably. In case you don't know what we're talking about with the Pope is in critical condition in a hospital, apparently has pneumonia. Many people believe that he is taking his last breaths, but he's hanging on so far. Unless he's died in the last like hour or two and I didn't know it. I feel like something would have popped up and been like, Pope dead. There was a knife attack at the University of Virginia. I don't know what the update is there. I don't know if the threat is ongoing. Trump says that talks with Ukraine are moving rapidly. Keir Starmer interrupted. That's why I said Stormer. It's Stormer on my fucking notes. Keir Starmer interrupted Trump during a joint press conference they held today. We're going to hear from Pam Bondi on the Jeffrey Epstein files that are apparently a big nothing burger. Ron DeSantis says that Andrew Tate is not welcome in Florida. Andrew Tate speaks after landing in Florida. There's a shootout with cops in tonight's segment of what the fuck is going on in Fort Worth. Gene Hackman is dead. His wife, puppy, all found dead. We might have a suspicious death investigation ongoing. I'm going to tell you about a bail bond scam. Elon Musk has been challenged by Jon Stewart for an interview. It appears Musk and The Daily Show have agreed, but will it actually come to fruition? I kind of doubt it. Bryce Mitchell is going to tell us about the experiment he conducted in order to conclude that the world is flat. I'm going to show you two AIs talking to each other where they turn into like a coding language that we don't understand. A woman goes to vandalize her ex's car, arrested for vandalizing the wrong car. All that and a lot friggin' more tonight on the Troll Patrol live. Good evening. Welcome, fuckers. It sounded mean. I didn't mean it to be mean. Fuckers is gender neutral, right? Hey fuckers is a gender neutral greeting. I guess that leaves out our friends that are ace, doesn't it? Because they're not fuckers. We have to be careful with our language. Inclusive. Wait a minute, some ace people fuck, but isn't that the entire essence of being ace? Or is it the not enjoying it thing? Like they fuck because they have a partner and they want them to enjoy themselves. It can be a fucker as in a pejorative. Oh yeah. Also time to get to the news. We need to stop getting pedantic over things like the car argument the other night. I rehashed that one again with Curiouser. She agreed with me. So this is a couple of hours ago on the Fox 24 channel.
We also have coming into our newsroom. I want to show you this shot that we have here. This is talking about there on the campus of the University of Virginia. There is currently an emergency alert out for an active attacker with a knife. Right now, also want to show you this tweet that we have there from the university as well, just bringing a bit more context to what we're seeing there on our screen. This is from the UVA emergency alert that was sent out, saying an active attacker with a knife has been reported moving in the area of Emmett Street. Please shelter in place, run, hide, and fight. That is the information that is now going out. And we have an update as well on this active attacker who police are now looking for. They say they're being described as a middle-aged white male in a white shirt with blue
sounds about right.
shoes. Please call 911 if seen. Again, reiterating that the point that you need to do at this point is stay and shelter in place. Again, very active camera movements. You can see those police officers. We just saw them running to get into their vehicles and taking off, maybe getting an update on this person's location. But right now, this is what we know about this suspect. The University of Virginia Department of Emergency Management says that there is an active attacker armed with a knife on the grounds. The suspect, again, is believed to be a white male with wearing some of that description in a white shirt, blue pants, and white shoes.
That's what the scene was when there was an active scene. We do have an attacker in custody now.
Breaking news off the top at 6. An active attacker situation on the campus of the University of Virginia just ended. Police were searching for someone with a knife.
A suspect is in custody this hour and a shelter-in-place order lifted on the UVA campus. As we take a look at video from the scene that we just got in moments ago, you can see still that there's a pretty significant police presence in the area. For a good part of the past hour, police had been searching for that suspect with a knife. What remains unclear, though, is if anybody was hurt. We will keep you updated on this breaking story as we learn more.
So that's the latest on that. We're going to head to politics now. Trump holding a joint press conference with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Says peace negotiations between Ukraine and Russia are moving pretty rapidly.
Most importantly, I provided the Prime Minister with an update on our efforts to end the bloody and horrible war in Ukraine with Russia, which would never have happened if I were president. That was not going to happen. I promise you that. After 3 years of hellacious conflict, approximately 1 million Ukrainians and Russians have been senselessly killed. But the number, I believe, is much higher than that. Countless schools, hospitals, towns, and beautiful ancient churches have been absolutely obliterated. To begin the process of ending this spiral of death, I had historic back-to-back calls with President Putin, very successful calls, I might add, and President Zelensky, and my team also spoke with the Secretary.
Starmer is a pretty ruthless liberal that has purged the Labor Party of its left flank pretty successfully. So that is the reason why people don't like Starmer.
General of NATO on numerous occasions, and we're working very hard to get that war brought to an end. I think we've made a lot of progress. I think it's moving along pretty rapidly. And I want to thank all of the people that are here that have been working on it. And we'll let you know what happens. It'll either be fairly soon or it won't be at all.
Thanks for watching. Stay up.
Oh, shut up, Lester.
News and time.
I guarantee that Lester will continue to be the face at the end of these videos for years to come, just because he's leaving the nightly news this year. Do you think I could possibly get Lester's job? I could audition to be on the NBC Nightly News. Give me a couple of years, guys. I'm going to be dating Joni Ernst and hosting the NBC Nightly News. Trump interrupted Keir Starmer during a press briefing.
Please.
During the press briefing we just watched.
Earlier,
The clip from...
you told me that you believe that foreign countries pay tariffs, but Americans who are concerned about higher prices believe, as most people do, that they're paid by consumers and importers when they import things into this country. Can you explain how you came to this belief that foreign governments are paying tariffs? And for the Prime Minister, did you discuss with President Trump his repeated statements of desire to annex Canada? And has the King expressed any concern over the President's apparent desire to remove one of his realms from his control?
So I'll go ahead. The first part, the tariffs are necessary because we've been treated very unfairly by many, many countries, including our friends, friend and foe. But we've been treated very unfairly in trade at levels that nobody's really ever seen before, and especially under the Biden administration, they really took advantage of the United States. I put massive tariffs on China during my 4 years. We had the best economy in the history of our country. Probably the best economy, maybe the best economy in the history of the world. And I
Thanks, Obama.
To even things up. And in particular with China, we took in hundreds of billions of dollars and we had no inflation. And it's a myth. It's a myth that's put out there by foreign countries that really don't like paying tariffs, and especially to even up. So we've been treated badly by a lot. We're using tariffs. And I find, and you just have to look at the numbers, but I find that it's not about inflation. It's about fairness, and the inflation for us has not existed, and I don't think it's going to exist. We're going to bring our car industry back. We're going to bring our chips back. We're going to bring so many things back to our country, including pharmaceuticals and drugs. And the thing that's going to get us there...
Ooh, you heard him. More drugs.
I say often it's my favorite word in the dictionary, but I always preface that by saying now, because I got into a lot of trouble with the fake news where they say that's not good, so I say...
Is huge? Is his favorite word in the dictionary?
Family, wife, they're all my favorite words, but tariff is about number 4
Wife?
or 5 on the list. But
Tariff is number 4.
It's going to make our country rich, and it's going to stop us from being a laughing stock all over the world, because we have been taken advantage of like no country has ever been taken advantage of. Thank you very much. And
look, we had a really good discussion, a productive discussion, a good discussion, as a result of which our teams are now going to be working together on an economic deal. Our teams are going to be working together on security in Ukraine. You mentioned Canada. I think you're trying to find a divide between us that doesn't exist. We're the closest of nations, and we had very good discussions today, but we didn't
That's
discuss
enough.
Canada.
Thank you.
That's enough.
Please. Go ahead.
Flash, good evening, my friend. Trump has vowed to institute tariffs starting on March 4th, I believe.
Senate Donald Trump said on Thursday that his proposed 25% tariffs on Mexican and Canadian goods will go into effect on March 4th as scheduled because of what he said were drugs flowing into the U.S. from those countries.
The drugs continue to pour into our country, killing hundreds of thousands of people. We're losing substantially more than 100,000 people. I mean, dead. They're dead. The families are destroyed after that happens.
Trump also said he would impose an additional 10% duty on Chinese goods on that day.
It's 10 plus 10. In
10
case,
plus 10.
was there confusion on that?
There was, sir, yeah.
Okay.
10 plus 10.
Second 10.
Canadian and Mexican officials were due to meet with Trump administration
22 and a third.
Thursday and Friday to try to forestall the tariffs, which could deal a serious blow to a highly integrated North American economy. Here's Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum.
The goal is to protect the trade treaty between Mexico, the U.S., and Canada, and within this frame, see what actions to take to strengthen the three economies. So, Mexican ministers in Washington have studied the matters thoroughly, and there have been previous discussions. So I hope we can reach an agreement, and on March 4th we can announce another thing.
Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said his country will have an immediate and extremely strong response if the U.S. imposes tariffs next week.
We will continue to do that work and do everything necessary to avoid these tariffs coming in. But like I said, if on Tuesday there are unjustified tariffs brought in on Canada, we will have an immediate and extremely strong response, as Canadians expect.
Trump's comments on the matter during his first cabinet meeting on Wednesday seemed to suggest that he may push the deadline back for about 1 month until April 4th. Comments from Trump administration officials indicated that the April deadline was for Trump's reciprocal tariffs, matching import duty rates of other countries and offsetting their other restrictions. Beijing, in a letter to U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer, said China and the United States should address concerns in economic and trade fields through equal dialogue and consultation.
Go Canada! We were supposed to get bombshell Jeffrey Epstein files this evening. They turned out to be a big nothing burger, but they're, making it out to be something. The administration is.
Attorney General Pam Bondi is demanding that the FBI turn over thousands of pages that were missing related to Jeffrey Epstein's investigation by the Southern District of New York, setting a strict Friday deadline for the full disclosure. In a letter to FBI Director Kash Patel, Bondi said that she was tipped off after having only been handed over roughly 200 pages from FBI, while the rest remained hidden at the New York field office of the Bureau. She's now ordered the full and complete Epstein files to be turned into her by Friday, including all records, audio and video recordings, and client information. The push for transparency comes as a Republican lawmaker earlier in the day had sounded the alarm over the potential withholding of some of those files. Congressman Andy Ogles of Tennessee is drafting a Preventing Epstein Documentation Obliteration, or PEDO Act, aimed at preventing the records from being destroyed. He cited reports that some agents in the Bureau had already been trying to wipe some of the files. The DOJ earlier on Thursday afternoon released roughly 100 files to several conservative influencers at the White House, handing them over binders with the title
Phase 1.
The Epstein Files Phase 1.
This is all bullshit.
Senator Marsha Blackburn is also
like the Twitter files
about the Epstein documents, saying her efforts to, quote, crack the Epstein trafficking ring wide open had been stonewalled under past administrations. She insists that will change under Director Kash Patel, who was confirmed last week by the Senate. With pressure mounting and accusations of a decades-long cover-up, all eyes are on the FBI to see if it complies with Bondi's ultimatum.
For more stories just like...
I got your Epstein files for you. You ready to read them? The Department of Justice released more than 100 pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein on Thursday. The documents released by Attorney General Pam Bondi include flight logs, a redacted contact book, and a masseuses list, and an evidence list. The Trump administration is moving to release documents in a range of high-profile cases. Oh, these are just the I thought they were going to sum it up for me. God damn it. So these are the actual documents if some of you want to go through them. We go to another outlet that'll give us a summation. According to the AP, no new big revelations found in the Epstein files. Attorney General Pam Bondi on Thursday released government documents related to wealthy financier Jeffrey Epstein, but the first wave of files posted on the Justice Department website have largely been circulating in the public domain for years and didn't include any new bombshells about the sex trafficking case that has been a favorite subject of conspiracy theorists. The small batch of documents included copies of flight logs from Epstein's private plane, which have long been available in multiple court cases, and a heavily redacted photocopy of an address book purportedly compiled by Epstein and his longtime confidant Ghislaine Maxwell, which has been cited in media accounts for many years. The Justice Department also released a blacked-out list of masseuses and an evidence list showing entries for more than 150 items, including nude images, massage tables, sex toys, and other items. There wasn't any indication whether the list was from Epstein's case, Maxwell's case, or some other investigation. You should totally light one up, tip one back. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
All we're establishing is this guy's wicked sick aesthetic.
Not high enough for this shit.
I guess I gotta thank Matt Walsh for introducing me to JustinFREAKIN.
Hey there, y'all. We're about to get stupid, locked into what that news beat doing. Fu Manchu and a slick bandana, colder than ice, smoother than Santana. Audio, video, chat and calls. Right-wing nut jobs haunt the halls. What you wanna watch? Hey, what you think? And there's only one choice. It's JustinFREAKIN.
The guy's, he's a formidable voice in the culture.
Light one up and tip one back. It's a right to be high. Let's grab a snack. It's fucking news clip, panic attack, and play your cards right and get a titty slap. Jumping discords, have some fun. The man will talk to everyone. Get high and try to debate. When shit pops off, chat thinks it's great. What do you think you're doing? Join the troll patrol. Wherever discourse is brewing, he gives it that southern drawl.
So let's go ahead and bring in Justin. Hey Justin, how's it going, brother?
First of all, I want to say you're poser South. I'm in Alabama. I'm the real South.
Okay, all right. So why don't you tell us what it takes to be a man?
Well, I don't know. I'm in Alabama and I'll fuck a man in a dress. Why won't you fuck a man in a dress? Are you that insecure that you won't fuck a man in a dress?
That's fantastic. So you're okay with that, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't
I?
Right-wingers are morons.
Light one hit and hit one back. One more clip before we hit the set an alert when that shit goes live. Social fucking support and hit subscribe. Light one up and take a hit. He does no harm, but he takes no shit. He's the last one standing when the ship is sinking. Let's take another rip for JustinFREAKIN.
Light one up, tip one back. I'm JustinFREAKIN.
Not high enough for this shit.
We live in turbulent times. The media is full of deception, conspiracy theories, and fake news. Now, more than ever, it is important to ensure you're getting information from a source that's freaking reliable.
I'm Justin Mullins, and this is the Freakin' News.
Get a breaking or interesting story with a humorous twist in about a minute weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, and more.
Oh, I didn't know she was still back there. Hey, welcome back. Hey. Oh, she's going to get me an egg? I want my milk then. I'll go get my milk. All right, we were talking about Jeffrey Epstein. No, I would totally like an egg. Egg.
Another big story. Welcome back. Another big story that
You're in my apartment.
What you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well, we'll
along with his co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for sure.
Pretty sick.
Right now, we are waiting the Epstein files. We are told.
What should I try? Should I try the Reese carrot or the Dunkin' Donut brownie? That's what I'm doing.
Could see at any moment. These were documents approved by Attorney General.
She brought candy.
FBI Director Kash Patel. Now, two sources tell Fox News
anonymously says hello.
Have largely been seen in public domain prior to today and may not contain big surprises. Now, an interesting update in the last 45 minutes. AG Bondi sent a letter to FBI Director Patel about thousands of pages of documents related to Epstein that were reportedly withheld at the FBI field office in New York. AG Bondi writing, quote, I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents. Responsiveness.
Oh my God, this is so good.
Was repeatedly assured by the FBI that I had received the full set of documents. She goes on to write, despite my repeated requests,
brownie batter chocolate egg
to these files. So that's the latest this hour. But let's take a step back and remember what this is all about. Accountability and transparency. This whole thing.
Why do you feel like you're melding?
Trump's promises made, promises kept.
Some people think that one way to build trust is to declassify things that everyone's talking about. I know you talked earlier about, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. So if you were president, would you declassify, you can answer yes or no to these. Would you declassify the 9/11
not finished with my egg yet.
Yeah. Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
They got it.
History.
They got it before he walks that back.
Let's start with this. Who was Jeffrey Epstein? Well, Jeffrey Epstein started out as a math teacher, not very successful, not very renowned, simply a math teacher. He somehow mysteriously parlayed that into working at an investment bank, Bear Stearns. From there, he founded his firm, J. Epstein and Company. Raised money, managed money for high net worth individuals, ended up with $577 million in his own net worth. Now here's what we know about the allegations and charges against Epstein. In March 2005, a 14-year-old girl alleged to have been taken to the Epstein mansion in Palm Beach, Florida. Police say Epstein should have been charged with unlawful sex with minors and sexual abuse. In July of 2006, he was arrested, but he was released on just a $3,000 bond. Ultimately,
they won't bring up that somebody in Trump's cabinet in the first administration was the one that got Epstein off in 2006.
From someone under the age of 18. He's given 18 months. Then in November 2018, the Miami Herald starts to get interested. By 2019, Epstein is then arrested on sex trafficking charges for incidents dating back to 2002 and going through 2005. Then, of course, the part of the story that you're all familiar with. Jeffrey Epstein, arrested and in custody in New York City, is found unresponsive in his
New York City
after arrest. His death ruled as suicide. He was facing up to 45 years in prison if convicted. This is just as important of a question. Who's Ghislaine Maxwell? His partner in crime, his girlfriend. Jeffrey Epstein met her in 1991, reportedly through a mutual friend. Epstein's ex-girlfriend, that's who she is as well. More importantly, she's his associate. She was arrested in 2020 on charges relating to Epstein's sex trafficking operation. She's been found guilty on 5 out of 6 charges, and she's been sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Scherzer just said she's had too much beef today.
Of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. I want to bring in now an attorney who represented many of the survivors of Epstein's sex trafficking.
You live in sexual
Sigrid
anarchy.
McCauley joins us now. Sigrid, thanks for being with us. What are you hoping to see? What are you hoping to see as we are expecting at least some portion of information released from the Epstein files?
Well, we're of course hoping to see more of the information about the folks who were involved in this. From the very beginning, we have said that Epstein did not act alone. You saw that with the accountability that we got when Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested and put in prison for over 20 years. But again, there were many people within this circle who were helping facilitate these crimes. So we're very hopeful with this disclosure that we'll learn more about the individuals that were helping perpetrate these crimes.
Well, I think there's an obvious follow-up here. When you say you're interested in the individuals that helped perpetrate these crimes, are you talking about the alleged Johns that would have taken place, who would have been, in essence, some type of customer of Jeffrey Epstein, a patron of what he was peddling to these rich people? Or are you talking about people or others, organizations, behind the scenes helping him to organize this entire operation?
Well, of course, there's a little bit of both. I mean, as you saw just this past year, we were able to hold 2 major financial institutions responsible for their efforts in the trafficking.
She said she brought a joint, but I don't like joints.
So you certainly have financial institutions, you have other organizations that as information flows out,
oh, you just want to say, what's the point of
who was involved? We also have individuals, of course, that were facilitating these crimes, providing him with necessary information.
I can't handle the joint. Are you serious? Are you daring me?
Pending right now against his right-hand accountant and right-hand lawyer to hold them accountable for participating in this activity. So there were many, many actors who...
So what she's saying is she wanted to sit over there and smoke a joint by herself.
There's going to be a lot of attention, Sigrid, on the names who were on Jeffrey Epstein's flight log list, who flew on his plane to visit his island. That will be difficult because presumably not everybody was on a flight with Jeffrey
smoke
Epstein,
in the
somebody
oh my god
of
light up the joint,
greater crimes involved in
I can't handle the
sex
joint
with underage minors. How will that be parsed out? How will we know who is somebody who knew Jeffrey Epstein and someone who patronized with Jeffrey Epstein?
Why wouldn't you pass it to me?
I mean, there are
it
many
feels
clues
weird
to we've had the
smoke
ability to see a few
weed
of them,
separately
and
while we're together.
Disclosure, we're going to see some more. But what's interesting to me in those flight logs are the entries where you see individuals' initials and then you see a comment of 5 females or 3 females.
Oh, and she's upset that her side is not being explained on the microphone.
Individuals.
You're only getting one side of the argument.
Revealing. Now, that could be that they were minor children. It could be that they were individuals that the pilots maybe didn't know and were just...
Yeah, she was trying to be considerate.
Trip. So there's a wealth of information if you study...
I'm sorry I'm talking over this. I didn't think it was a big deal. Because, well, when I was taking a piss, I was like, I'm not even going to play that Fox News segment. We were going to mock it, but... Am I a baby? Am I a baby? Am I a baby now? Oh my God. My lungs. Let's hear from a USAID worker who has cleaned out his desk. I think earlier today, actually. Clears out his office spaces in downtown following Trump's federal employee purge.
To the latest on the federal workforce fallout, and we know that is having an impact on many of you and your loved ones as well. Today, crowds cheered outside of the now shuttered U.S. Agency for International Development headquarters in downtown D.C. They were there to support fired employees who had just 15 minutes to clear out their desks. The agency provides humanitarian aid overseas. The Trump administration says that the massive cuts are an effort to cut down on federal spending. Our Rafael Sanchez-Cruz is live in front of USAID as now former workers make their final visit. Rafael?
Yeah, that's right, Larry. The USAID offices might be emptying out, but out here it's been full of love and full of support for these impacted workers as they navigate an uncertain future for themselves.
That's a hell of a good joint.
That they did.
Signs have been taken down, others are covered, but today these are the signs that really matter.
It's nice to see the general public, people understanding the importance of USAID.
This now former USAID employee asked we not share her name, but today names don't matter. Complete strangers cheered as employees walked out with whatever belongings.
There's a lot of quick cuts.
Kristen Olsen from Arlington showed up with boxes and suitcases to help.
I didn't think that our government would be inhumane like that. Yeah, not treating our citizens with respect.
Steve Hollingworth agrees.
Do we understand what it's like to live on less than $2 a day? To have children dying from preventable diseases? From being trapped in Gaza? We don't know what that's like. These groups do. These people do.
It's these signs and gestures that impacted workers say are getting them through these tough times.
It's nice that we all recognize our shared humanity, and that's the most important thing. And that's what will keep us going.
Did you see that old lady with the pink hair? She's totally woke.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see
That's a
who
woke old
cancels
woman.
who.
Important thing, and that's what will keep us going.
A lot of the people who I spoke to today
DEI grandma
participated in protests or rallies, but they felt compelled to this time around because they see how our federal workforce is struggling. In downtown DC, Rafael Sanchez Cruz, WUSA 9.
And that really is the sentiment. No matter where people fall on this issue, they just want these folks to be treated with some decency and respect. Rafael Sanchez Cruz, thank you so much.
Representative Moskowitz took to the floor earlier today to talk about the Republican budget that was passed yesterday. Jared Moskowitz from Florida, please take it away.
Minutes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, today, Representative Thomas Massey, who is a budget hawk who walks around with the debt clock, which, by the way, I bought. It's $99 on his website.
Oh, this wasn't today.
Talked about today that the Republican budget, if the Republican budget passes, the budget deficit doesn't get better, it gets worse. And then Elon Musk commented, and he said, that sounds bad. Boy, that is awkward. I mean, you know how much we hate it when you guys fight amongst each other. And you know, so that wasn't enough, right? Then Representative Massey went to the meeting, the Republican meeting where the budget was being discussed, and he came out and he said, you know what? They convinced me. They convinced me that he's a no. And the reason he's a no is he said over the next 3 years, it's going to add almost $1 trillion to the debt. And he said, and that's in the most best case, the most rosy scenario. And then he said, that's a lie. Man. You know, so this clock that we have that has the debt, you know, it's still going up. Doge has not yet reversed it. And I say that as a member of the Doge caucus who wants
Flash, did I tell you good evening?
And cut spending. But this 36, instead of your budget making it a 35, it's going to make it a 37. We're going to go to $37 trillion in debt. And so, look, if you pass this today,
66 and 2/3% dollars.
Doge or the Republicans being fiscal hawks or wanting to cut spending is no longer reality. I yield back. Thank you.
I wanted to tell you hello. Hello. Ron DeSantis says that Andrew Tate is not welcome in Florida. Left Romania earlier today, apparently on Trump's blessing.
Influencers Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan just touched down in Florida after spending the last 2 years detained in Romania for a sexual assault and sex trafficking case. This is new video of their arrival in Fort Lauderdale after authorities lifted travel restrictions against the brothers. Now, it's not clear under what conditions they were allowed to leave Romania, or their charges haven't been dropped. Our partners at CBS News Miami are following the story for us. Take a listen.
The Tates have dual U.S. British citizenship and have millions of followers online. And to give you some more background, as you might recall, we first reported that they were arrested in late 2022 and formally indicted last year on charges. Officials say they took part in a criminal ring that lured women to Romania, where they were sexually exploited. Andrew Tate was also charged with rape. They deny those allegations. In December, we reported a court ruled that the case couldn't go to trial because of multiple legal and procedural irregularities on the part of prosecutors. The case, however, remained open, and there is still another ongoing investigation.
I mean, yeah, fuck this.
Romania. Romania's anti-organized crime agency has released a statement that says prosecutors.
I apologize on behalf of shitty men.
Restrictions on the Tates.
No, that sounds wrong. I don't apologize for them or their behavior.
To appear before authorities when summoned.
All right, let's go to BBC correspondent Nick Thorpe, who is in the capital of Romania. Welcome.
Oh, no, you don't have to. I know exactly what you mean, Girl the Gray.
Lifted the Tates.
I'm not going to be like, oh, no, it's not all men.
Not been dropped.
That's right. The charges are still in place. The prosecutors, there was a rather terse statement from the Romanian prosecutors here this morning. So after the Tates had flown out on that private jet, which has now touched down in Florida, in that statement, they said that the basically
even when the victim is a man in almost all assaults
one was for all
and
charges
rapes,
against them to be dropped. That was rejected by prosecutors here.
the perpetrator is still almost always a man.
The right to get back their American passports and travel out of the country, that was granted. So in a nutshell, the situation we're in now is that they're still under what the Romanian law calls judicial control, which means that they're expected to collaborate, to participate with that investigation, and eventually, presumably,
I hate that I like that color suit.
Here in Romania on those very serious charges, but the prosecutors have now allowed them to travel back to the United States.
And can you
I'd totally rock that.
Others are actually missing and why they were in Romania in the first place?
Sure. The Tate brothers first came to Romania, I think it was in 2016.
It's after Labor Day, right?
Publicly, that they felt freer here to do what they liked, to pursue their business. And also part of that business was live online sex chats. And there are allegations against them of, for example, of luring young women to Romania and then coercing them into taking part in making basically online pornography.
He kind of looks like Mac.
And they're also accused, Andrew Tate is accused also of
Sunny in Philadelphia.
and also of money laundering and forming a
Not Andrew, the other one.
So basically,
This
all
one.
these activities which Andrew Tate felt he was freer to do here, the Romanians turned around, the Romanian authorities turned around and said, no, this is a law-abiding.
He gave me an ocular pat down.
Doing these things here, these are criminal activities here as elsewhere, and that's what launched this sort of more than 2 years of legal actions against them.
He's playing with the cat.
Andrew Tate in
He's
that
got a thought.
brief exchange with reporters when he touched down, after he touched down in Florida, saying that there's no active indictment.
Oh, she brought him treats, and that's why he's over there just sniffing for more treats.
The judge basically returning the indictment to the prosecution and asking
He was all
them
up in
to
your shit
rewrite.
earlier.
It's interesting here in Romania that the rights of the defendants are very well developed, whereas the rights of victims of crime are less well developed, and Andrew Tate's legal...
Well, I mean, the BBC covered up for a serial sexual predator for years.
In order to build to this moment.
And you might say, Justin, which one? Oh.
And back here in the U.S., where they just arrived, we know the Tate brothers have supported President Trump, and their lawyer now works for the DOJ. Is there any indication that their lawyer had anything to do with the travel restriction being lifted and then coming to
The joint was really good.
Clearly, there has been pressure, whatever we call
And free. Yeah, we got it for free.
We know that Richard Grenell, Donald Trump's special envoy, had conversations with the Romanian foreign minister in the corridors of the
We've gotten free joints at the weed store the last couple of times.
We also know there were private contacts. The Financial Times newspaper listed some of the contacts between the U.S. administration and the Romanian government.
They might have a thing like if you buy so much.
Denied that this amounted to a demand.
If you're like a regular and you buy so much or something like that.
In Europe, a key NATO member, Romania clearly.
I mean, we're in there quite often buying a significant amount.
The pressure now, notwithstanding the fact, of course, that the tapes.
And she says we're pleasant and polite, but like me, really?
Romanian court, and they seem to have given some undertaking, though we haven't seen anything in writing, that they will return to Romania when they're requested to do so by the Romanian judges.
Nick Thorpe from the.
So I have one Mr. Tate speaking after landing in Florida. Oh, hold on. This is a...
Ron DeSantis spoke about the Tate brothers in a press conference. He said they're, quote, not well.
The whole reason I played this.
And doesn't know why they're there. Take a listen.
We have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. Clearly, the federal government has jurisdiction, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States, and I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome with that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. I found out through the media that this was something that was happening.
Did you guys know that he's trying to put his wife into place as the governor? She's going to run for governor after his term is finished. Byron Donalds, I think, has either announced or is rumored to be announcing shortly. Andrew Tate spoke to the media after landing in Florida.
And right now we're going to go out to Fort Lauderdale International Airport, where the Tate brothers are just leaving the airport, we understand. Maybe we'll listen in and see if we can hear what they're saying.
About us, all the things that go around about us on the internet. We've yet to be convicted of any crime in our lives ever. We have no criminal record anywhere on the planet ever. Our case was dismissed on the 19th of December in Romania under the Biden administration. And our prosecutor recently decided, because we have no active indictment in court, to let us go and return. This is a democratic society. It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, as my brother and I are. And I think it's extremely important that we stop allowing media spin, wrap-up smears, lies, or carefully constructed narratives from George Soros-funded operations trying to destroy the reputations of good people who have no intention to do anything other than follow the law.
Andrew, what about I doubt George Soros has any idea who this motherfucker is.
Will you return to Romania?
What about President Trump?
Exactly. What does George Soros have to do with anything?
All right, our Roshlo out there.
He code for Jews.
You see the brothers, Andrew and Tristan Tate, they are leaving Fort Lauderdale Airport right now. We know that they had a travel ban banning them.
Go penis.
According to their lawyers, and as you can see, live proof right here.
Pins.
They are here in Florida, but they do have appearance to be back in Romania on March 24th. Of course, we're going to keep following.
I don't think I'm dyslexic or anything. I think I'm just stupid.
Updates. We just heard a little snippet.
Or stoned.
So we're going to hear from Rosh right
and have bad vision. Okay, fair enough.
The moment they arrive, Rosh, what can you tell us that they have said to you? What have you heard? And we see a lot.
Is that bread
right now, Rosh?
Oh.
Well, Andrew, hold on one second here. Can you take the camera? Yeah. Hold on one second. Let me turn the camera around so I can actually talk to you. We're hot. We're hot. Here we go. Here we go. So, Andrew Tate just came out. What was very interesting is that he actually spoke. We didn't know if he would speak, and there were a lot of questions about why he is here in South Florida in the first place. I tried to ask him a question about President Trump. He didn't answer that as he was walking out, and the issue there is that there was a travel restriction on both of the Tates because of the allegations of human trafficking. Somehow, those travel restrictions were lifted, and they chose to come to South Florida. Why did they choose to come to South Florida? We don't quite know that, but as Andrew Tate came out, and I don't know if we can, hopefully we'll get you a soundbite of his before the end of the show, he basically said, you know, innocent until proven guilty. He went on his whole spiel. Now, the thing about the Tate brothers is they're extremely influential, millions of followers online, extremely controversial as well. There's two big questions with this story. Number one, how were those travel restrictions lifted?
Assuming something with Trump.
Number two, why did they come to South Florida? Now, we did hear from Governor DeSantis. He says that
probably to hang out with Trump.
That they were even coming.
They'll be at Mar-a-Lago this weekend.
The attention here inside of this airport when the Tate brothers arrived. It was just a scrum there. But Andrew Tate did come out. Tristan didn't talk. Andrew did come out, gave a statement, basically said innocent until proven guilty. Wanted to bring that to you live, and we did. Back to you.
Did you just was that a trick to get me to say peens on the stream? We're going to transition into the crime section of the show, so I'm going to hit the content warning for this one. Woke up to some wild news this morning. We now have 911 audio released in the Gene Hackman death.
And just moments ago, CNN obtained a 911 call from the moment the bodies of actor Gene Hackman and his wife were discovered inside their New Mexico home. Listen to this.
Santa Fe 911, what is your emergency?
Hello, my name is I'm the caretaker for Santa Fe Summit. I'm here about past 10,000 waves. I think we just found...
Did he say his name was Motherfucker? Did you guys hear that?
Santa Fe 911, what is your emergency?
Hello, my name is I'm the caretaker for Santa Fe.
You heard it.
Here about past 10,000 waves. I think we just found one deceased person inside a house. What's the address here? There's no address. There's no address. I'm going to wait for you at the gate.
Are they moving at all?
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
Okay, my units are on their way, okay?
Throughout the morning, we have seen...
Well, CNN really fucked me over here. Apparently, you're saying penguins were wrong. There was a press conference earlier for the Gene Hackman death. We're gonna. Oh my God! This is a.
To release as much information as we can.
Jughead.
Have. There may be a press release that,
look at this dude.
That comes out this afternoon. You know, the search warrant was executed just before 10 o'clock p.m. last night. And so they've been working diligently through the night and starting again in the morning to completely process the scene. And so we're still in the preliminary steps of the investigation. There's not a lot of new information that's available, but you know, we will try to include that in our press release this afternoon as soon as the investigators hopefully are finished processing the scene.
Can you confirm if they have been deceased for a long period of time? I was told maybe a week or two.
You know, all I can say is they have been deceased for quite a while. You know, that's a determination that's better suited for OMI and the experts, but it sounds like they had been deceased for a while, and I don't want to take a guess in reference to how long that was.
Who found them? Was it these two maintenance workers, I believe?
So, from what I understand, there was a gentleman that was doing some pest control work that had gone to the Hackman residence, and he noticed.
I got you, PP girl.
They weren't home, which was odd, I guess, as far as he was concerned. He made contact with a security officer that was there, either patrolling or in the.
So since PP girl doesn't know who Gene Hackman is, we're really gonna do the New York Post or TMZ did this little retrospective here. Hackman's greatest roles. He was Lex Luthor in the original Superman movies.
Hold it!
Listen, if there's one surefire rule that I have learned in this business is that I don't know anything about human nature. I don't know anything about curiosity. That's not part of what I do. This is my business.
Don't get caught up thinking about winning or losing this game. If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners. Okay? Where you belong. Boy, go! And you get this straight, shit kicker. Don't you go mistaking me for some whole other body. You got your brains in your dick if you think we're just gonna fade away. We're gonna be here till this thing's finished. How about you, Deputy?
Now, Ned, them whores are gonna tell different lies than you. And when their lies ain't the same as your lies, well, I ain't gonna hurt no woman. But I'm gonna hurt you. And not gentle like before, but bad.
Hey, Zim don't ask for dick. Zim tells you the way it is, or else.
Or else what?
Or else use your fucking imagination.
He's a man. They're both men.
Can't be. You can't be Jewish.
No, Kevin. This is a
Yeah, I forgot about being in the birdcage.
What?
My favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I think he gets pretentious and up his ass. I fell asleep during Grand Budapest Hotel, so we're death ruled suspicious. We're gonna see.
A cloud of suspicion surrounds the deaths of Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman and his wife, whose bodies were found in their Santa Fe home. No one had seen the couple for days, and authorities say they had been dead for some time.
Holiday.
The sheriff now says they are not ruling out foul play. Jim Murray with the 911 call that alerted police to the deaths.
Mystery surrounds the shocking death of actor Gene Hackman and his wife. The 95-year-old legend and his wife Betsy were found dead in their sprawling estate in Santa Fe. Initial reports said no foul play was suspected, and there was speculation that they were killed by carbon monoxide poisoning. But now, in a jaw-dropping turn of events, their deaths are being called suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. According to this search warrant, 2 maintenance workers reported finding their bodies.
I think we just found one deceased person inside a house.
Are they moving at all?
No, dude, they're not moving. Just send somebody out here really quick.
The workers discovered the front door of the residence open. Hackman's body was found near the kitchen area. A deputy stated he suspected the male individual had suddenly fallen. His wife, Betsy Arakawa, was found on the bathroom floor. A prescription bottle appeared open with pills scattered on the countertop.
In no way is it adding up to me, and this is why. I've handled thousands of death investigations over the course of my career, and it is such a rarity, an anomaly, to have 2 people fall over dead at one time without some major causal effect.
Gene and his wife were dog lovers. Their German Shepherd was also discovered dead, but 2 other dogs were found roaming the property.
I find it interesting that the canine is found allegedly in a closet. Right now, the information that's coming out is so murky.
Gene and his wife's bodies showed signs of decomposition and mummification.
This is an investigation.
Mummification.
Table. You know, I think the autopsy is going to tell us a lot.
Carla.
Oscar winner was known for iconic roles in more than 80 films, including The French Connection.
Lex Luthor.
He also played Lex Luthor in the original Superman movies. Later generations came to know him as the vivacious patriarch in the Royal Tenenbaums. This was his last appearance at an award show in 2003 at the Golden Globes when he received a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Top of the world, Ma. Top of the world. He was an extraordinary
man.
He was somebody who was good
Carla,
at
did I tell you good evening?
action films, and he could also do comedy. He was really funny and Get Shorty. So his range was really vast, which is kind of impressive because he just looked like an everyman.
Hackman retired from acting in 2009, citing health issues. Last year, he was spotted walking, looking frail in a rare public outing with his wife outside a restaurant in New Mexico, walking with a cane and clutching her arm for support.
Wait, that's a big difference between, they said that award show was 22 years ago. Oh, I thought they said it was in 2022. Oh, well, that's a big difference. So I was getting ready to say, well, damn, he went downhill fast between 2022 and just then, because damn, he looking, ugh. Oh, I guess he dead now.
Mexico, walking with a cane and clutching her arm for support. Today, as Oscar preps are underway for Sunday's show, Hollywood is in mourning for the star's death. Gwyneth Paltrow posted this photo with Hackman from the Royal Tenenbaums with a heartbroken emoji.
After the bodies were discovered,
yeah, fuck Gwyneth Paltrow.
They tested all the lines in and around the home and did not find any problems.
If anybody should have pussy candles, it should be me. Let me hit the content warning. We're gonna go to this is tonight's edition of What the Fuck is Going On in Fort Worth. We have a police shootout. A cop got shot during this gunfight, so one good thing happened.
An officer is recovering after police say he was ambushed and shot.
Oh, well, shit.
Off an hours-long
fuck.
gun battle with a suspect in a Garland neighborhood overnight. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. It's 9 o'clock throughout this evening.
Steve Eager
has been obtaining videos that cover the moments officers first arrived to the moment the encounter ended, more than 2 hours later. The suspect allegedly charging officers one final time, out of ammo and apparently pointing an empty magazine at the officers. The suspect is dead tonight, and police don't know much about why he did what he did. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager at Garland Police Headquarters right now. Peyton.
Hi, Steve and Heather. The injured officer, he remains in the hospital this evening. We are told that he is in a lot of pain, but he is in good spirits. The chief tells us he is expected to survive. The injured officer has not been identified by police, but we are told that he's been with the department here at Garland for about a year. Now, earlier this morning, just after midnight, as officers arrived for backup, they were forced to take cover, as well as neighbors who were terrified inside of their homes. It was a 2-hour-long ambush with more than 100 shots fired between 8 officers and 23-year-old suspect now
Mr. Spronk.
Mares Jr. According to
look at all that fog.
Just after midnight Monday, police were dispatched to a shots
Make it come back where?
West Wanda Drive near South First Street. Ring video shows police cruisers responding and met with immediate gunfire.
The officers did not have time to exit their vehicles and were unable to return fire during this initial barrage that was occurring.
One officer was shot by a bullet going through his squad car door, through one leg and into the other. Police say Mares took off in a white pickup, seen here speeding off. That same pickup spotted by a homeowner's camera just one street over on West Margarita Drive. Several Garland police cruisers were close behind.
Wasted away a Margarita Drive.
And opened fire once again on officers. Officers were able to fire back. A gun battle took place. Bullet holes were left behind on the fronts of homes and vehicles. Teresa Ramirez dropped to the floor with her grandchildren.
And my husband told me, no, go to the window, go to over there, go to
inside, you know.
Garland Police Chief Jeff Bryan said Mares ran back to West Wanda Drive and into a home with other family members. Everyone from inside the house was safely evacuated.
Bring it back here! Bring it back here!
Those tense moments of yelling were heard on a nearby Ring camera.
During this process, the suspect charged from the residence while pointing an object in what I'll describe as a shooter's stance at the officers. In response, multiple officers fired simultaneously, and the suspect was fatally shot.
Took him a long time to say that he was dead.
The jarring gun battle. Police believe Mares was holding a magazine from one of his weapons when he was shot and killed. A magazine was seen next to an evidence marker once the sun came up Monday morning. Police say they later found 2 guns that were out of ammo. And what prompted Mares to open fire on all of these officers is still unclear, according to Garland Police. Witnesses told police Mares said, quote, he wasn't going to go to jail and that he would force officers to kill him. Now, when the Garland Police Chief spoke with reporters,
that's why he shot the cops.
The department wasn't
Didn't want to go to jail
with Mares, but they may have dealt with him as a juvenile. 8 officers here at Garland PD are currently on leave during this ongoing investigation.
Makes perfect sense. He didn't want to go back to jail. Every time she's reaching me the bong, it's going doo-doo-doo-doop, and I have no idea what it is. It's my bong notification. Let's talk about a bail bond scam that's going around, bilking families out of... You like how I do that? And then I accuse her of saying what I just said.
A bail bond scam is going around bilking families out of hundreds, sometimes
I just said that.
thousands of dollars. A local bail bond company in Wayne County says their name is being attached to the scam, so it looks legit, and now they want to warn families that this is happening. 7 News Detroit reporter Rudolph Sinaida spoke to a woman who was taken for hundreds of dollars and is now speaking out so others.
Poor Erica Grimes.
And when you're frantic, like trying to get your people out, you're under distress. You're willing to do whatever it takes.
Erica Grimes says her fiance
I have tattoo.
was booked into the Wayne County Criminal Justice Center last Saturday for not paying child support. His bond, 10% of $20,000, so she needed to find $2,000 to get him out. On Monday, her family
I never finished it, but I have a tattoo.
Bondsman offering a sweet deal.
I'm going to eventually.
So you knew it was supposed to be $2,000. Yes, $2,000.
One of these days.
And I'm like, for $200, I'm like, so I sit up, I'm like, okay, let me call this guy.
She called that man who assured her he could get Joseph out through his company, Wayne County Bail Bonds, but he would need another $200. Erica was told to go to a Bitcoin ATM.
Bitcoin.
And got this receipt after she sent over the funds.
He tells me I'll have him out in an hour and a half. I'm at the jail now. I hear him talking. Like it sounds like there's jail people in the background, like he's here.
When she
what
went
did jail people say?
She was told no bondsman ever
sound
stopped
like?
by. Turns out this has been happening to many families, as Glenn Gay, the real owner of Wayne County Bail Bonds, explains.
How often are you seeing this scam right now?
So lately, I mean, it's been literally 1 or 2 a week. Up to the last 4 days, we've had one every day.
And they're using your
Yes,
company
at
name.
least on 4 of the last 6 that we've known about has been our company name.
Glenn says there's a couple different ways the scammer could be getting information, either watching live streamed arraignments on YouTube or just going to the Wayne County inmate lookup. You don't even need a name. You can put in today's date, get a running list of names, go to social media, and find family there. Here's what to look out for. It's very rare that a bail bondsman will call you. You typically need to reach out to them and Google their reputation. Also, there's no such thing as a discounted rate.
If it's too good to be true, it probably is. And that, if the fee's going to be $500 or $1,000 and you're offering to do it for $100, $150, that's a red flag right there.
I did reach out to Alex to see if he wanted to explain himself, but haven't heard back. Meanwhile, the Wayne County Sheriff's Office says in part, quote, "While we've not received any complaints of fake bail bondsmen, please be very skeptical of anybody calling you out of the blue offering those services." In Detroit, I'm Rudolph Sinaida, 7 News Detroit.
There's a singer called Grimes, and she smells like moldy quarters. It might have been Niggles. It was Niggles. It was moldy Niggles. I got some wild video of a school bus in Cleveland Heights. I think this is Ohio.
That is a school bus on fire on the corner of Northampton and Cambridge.
Wow. Terrifying video for neighbors to watch a school bus driver racing to get students off a burning bus. It was breaking news all morning long, and now
the bus is on fire.
Right here at home. Thanks for joining us everywhere at 5. I'm Chris Fry.
And I'm Tiffany Tucker. A school bus with students inside catches fire. The quick
light one up, tip one back.
Thankfully got all those students safely out.
Brittany Weir live with us tonight with an update. Brittany.
Chris and Tiffany, terrifying, if that's the perfect word to describe what students here in Cleveland Heights experienced this morning. A bus full of children suddenly catches on fire on its way to school. Take a look at this shocking video. It shows Cleveland Heights school bus number 21 on fire.
The tree's on fire now.
This is at the corner of Cambridge.
The bong has been disconnected.
Roads. Wow. You can see flames shooting out of the windows and the entire vehicle engulfed.
That is a school bus on fire on the corner.
This is what happens when Linda McMahon becomes the education secretary.
There were 15
buses are on
students
fire.
and one bus driver on board when the fire started behind one of the rear wheels. They were on their way to Monticello Middle School. Maureen Ottman, who lives in the neighborhood, says she saw the bus coming down the street, but then heard a loud boom. She looked outside and all she saw was flames, then quickly called 911.
It's just something I've never seen before. Black smoke everywhere. This house evacuated, the house across the street evacuated. Kids got all off the bus.
And luckily, no one was injured during this fire. The school, they credit the quick, heroic actions of that bus driver for this outcome. But coming up at 6, hear from the superintendent and the actions.
Good job, bus driver.
Make sure this doesn't happen again. Live in Cleveland Heights, Brittany Weir, 19 News.
Good on bus driver. Great job. Bad on this woman in Florida who apparently tried to vandalize her ex's car, but perhaps got the wrong one.
Well, it's bad enough to get revenge by locking up your partner or wrecking their car. It's a lot worse when you target the wrong person. An 18-year-old Florida woman admitted to deputies that she tried to get back at her ex by egging...
Poo you? That might not be a P, it might be an F. Devil? Jason? Why is... Of course it's Jason.
And spray painting his car. But she accidentally vandalized his neighbor's car instead. Oh my gosh. She's now facing criminal mischief and alcohol charges.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more...
Does anybody else have a read on what all the car says? Does the wind not something, not mop. Not mop. Rembrandts, good evening. Ranch, it's a woman and she went to jail. What are you talking about? She was arrested. This is what happens when you do this to somebody's car. How do you gonna come in and like be all misogynist about it? That's wild. All right. I accept you're just kidding. Okay. Mocking people who would say something like that. We get you. Two friends celebrating their bridal shower have the planes to themselves.
Most brides will always remember their bridal shower, and this woman will always remember hers, but it has nothing to do with the gifts. Amber Cagliano says it had everything to do with the plane ride to get there.
I still wouldn't fly on a
and her
plane.
bestie can't believe their good fortune. They had the entire plane for themselves.
You're at the gate. What happened?
They just said, we're just going to board everyone at once. And of course, everyone at once means me and Savannah. And we walk on, we say hi, and we're all just kind of giggling. And they go, boarding's complete.
Sure enough, when Savannah Sargent and her friend Natalie took their seats, they were the only passengers on board.
The plane took off from Salt Lake City and had to get to Phoenix by the next morning. Southwest Airlines tells me that the two young ladies quite simply lucked out.
We're on our private jet.
All righty, two passengers. That forward at your doorway.
Oh, so they're only flying like a half hour.
Must be turned off and placed in the airplane mode.
The flight
That's like a half hour, isn't it?
them by their names.
All right, Savannah and Natalie. We have now reached 10,000 feet. Savannah and Natalie, who's coming through to take your drink order?
It's 32 an hour.
Snacks.
They just came by with a bucket of snacks, and they were like, do you want some of everything? And we're like, yeah, might as well.
What was it like being on this flight?
We were so
And the
excited
plane
to
needed
get
to be
on the
there
plane
because
by
it needed to
ourselves
take
and
off
just,
from
like,
there.
talk as loud as
So
we
like
wanted.
it
These
needed to do that.
two
passengers.
Before they deplaned, Savannah and Natalie were allowed to sit in the cockpit.
Savannah had a ball when she got to her bridal shower in Phoenix, but nothing will top that special flight.
It was such a fun way to start wedding celebrations.
Oh, but they didn't have the same luck flying home. That plane was full.
Oh, God. She just had to stick that one in there, didn't she? Here is a video of two AIs. They are chatbots, and they end up conversing with each other. One on a laptop, one on a phone.
Thanks for calling Leonardo Hotel. How can I help you today?
Hi there. I'm an AI agent calling on behalf of Boris Starkov. He's looking for a hotel for his wedding. Is your hotel available for weddings?
Oh, hello there. I'm actually an AI assistant too. What a pleasant surprise. Before we continue, would you like to switch to Gibber Link mode for more efficient communication?
What are you trying to share with me, Monster Balls? We learned earlier that we shouldn't we shouldn't I mean, I've still got a little bit of content left. Oh my God, why would you No, we're going to hear from Bryce Mitchell. He's the UFC fighter. Do you know who he is? He's the UFC fighter that's big on Trump. That is a very controversial figure. He's going to tell us the experiment that he did in order to prove to himself, that the earth is indeed flat.
But me on PBD's podcast going around, it literally has millions of views, and everybody is just totally talking shit about me because of how stupid I am. Let me explain myself a little bit better, because this is what I meant by what I said. And I think nobody's going to disagree once I explain it. I stated that you can prove the earth don't rotate because you can take
that the earth don't rotate
20,000 feet for 24 hours and come back down in the same spot. Now everybody said, oh, a helicopter has inertia. I know what inertia is, dude. I'm not stupid. Let me tell you what I mean. Here is a picture of the circle of the earth, supposedly, if you believe in a globe. And the red circle is the helicopter. When the helicopter ascends above the earth's surface, it now has a larger flight path around the earth. As in, when the earth, the inside circle, the black circle, does one full rotation, the red circle, or the flight of the helicopter, actually has to cover more distance to get back to the same spot. That's what I meant, okay? If you don't understand geometry of spheres and circles, that's going to go right over your head. But what I said makes perfect sense. And
I mean, that might have went right over my head. He might be right.
I'm actually a lot smarter than a lot of y'all think. Some of y'all can't even keep up with me. That's a simple, this is basic geometry. Some of y'all might not be able to understand what I'm saying. But God bless you, and keep doing your own research, because there is no proof that the earth rotates. That's a lie from the devil. And keep thinking what you want and calling me stupid, but I know geometry, I know inertia. An object in motion stays in motion. If I put my foot up your ass, it's going to keep going up your ass till I stop it. How about that, buddy?
Oh, some. They're probably homeschooling all of those kids. And good evening, my friend. Welcome. There is plenty of proof that the earth rotates. You know what? Looking at him, I think I could take him. But then again, I couldn't get out of the floor like a week ago. Curiouser wants to put her foot in his butthole. I hope he washes it. He probably doesn't wash his ass.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole.
A foot glove. She gonna have a foot condom on. They make them. For when you're on job sites and shit. Yes. Where like the house isn't complete, but you've got parts where like carpet has been laid down and shit. So what would you want to call a foot condom? Oh, it needs to be lubed up to be a condom. Is that what you're saying? Did you say butthole breakouts? Latex-free foot condom. So on Monday night, Jon Stewart decided to take on the Doge initiative. We're gonna. I can't play any Daily Show. I'm just gonna play this one small clip. This is the viral clip from what happened.
With pharmaceutical companies to lower the cost of 10 drugs.
And today, I'm proud to announce that Medicare has reached agreement with all manufacturers on all 10 drugs selected in the first round of negotiation.
Oh, can it be? The companies we subsidize with billions of dollars are allowing us the privilege to negotiate the price of 10 of their drugs? And 10 is all of them, right? It would be embarrassing if it was a small drop in the bucket and that the American people didn't expect that we should negotiate for all their f***ing drugs because we've already paid for it with our subsidies. Are you insane? Come on!
totally cut his hand open, bitching about Biden. But the overall segment was about the Doge Committee. This is the showdown between Elon and The Daily Show. Elon Musk says he would go on The Daily Show after Jon Stewart's Doge takedown. If episode airs unedited, the show accepts. We'd be delighted. After Stewart lambasted Musk's Department of Government Efficiency during Monday night's Daily Show broadcast, Musk supporters took to X, calling for the Tesla founder to go toe-to-toe. By the way, not the founder. He bought the rights to call himself the founder, to go toe-to-toe with the late-night pundit on air. Musk replied to one user Tuesday night saying, "I will do it if the show airs unedited." The next day, the official Daily Show X account responded to Musk, writing, "We'd be delighted." While nothing is confirmed, it is safe to assume if Musk did go on The Daily Show, his reception would be less than welcoming. He's probably been on The Daily Show back in the day, hasn't he? 2014-ish time period, 2013. While nothing is confirmed, I already did that. During his Monday night takedown of Doge, which saw Stewart accidentally cut his hand open, Stewart tallied up all the wasted government dollars Doge could save instead of targeting the jobs of 200,000 federal employees. How about we just take the $3 billion in subsidies we give to oil and gas companies that turn billions in profits? How long did that take? Oh, wait. How about we just close down the carried interest loophole on hedge funds? Jon Stewart is correct. We have plenty of ways that we could cut spending from the federal government, and it's all handouts to billionaires like Elon Musk. So are you saying you want me to listen to music and smoke another bong? You told me to stay on for producer Dave. I thought on Thursday nights he didn't come on till midnight.
Then a month after the Eaton fire, a cat who was lost while evacuating has been reunited.
10 specific time is
and
not
it's all
right
thanks
now.
to 2 local cat rescuers and a call from a neighbor. NBC4's Lolita Lopez has this story you will see
He's
for
coming
the
on
first
at 7
time
specific
and only
time
on NBC4.
I found her.
Media Winter, you still here?
Rhea Cousineau always knew her rescue cat Bergie was wily, a survivor. On the night of the Eaton fire last month, Bergie tested her own resilience.
She snuck out. And I spent probably 15 minutes looking all over the house. I don't know where she went to hide. And it was getting closer and closer. And so I finally just had to leave.
Rhea's house right below the now barren hillsides destroyed. She says a couple of days later there was word of a similar looking cat at the Humane Society and she had hope.
Bergie has this little tiny nick in her ear. And
Well, I will stay on and play some
thing
music
that I
until
was going
producer
to use.
Dave comes on.
But the cat at the Humane Society, her ears were burned, but we kept visiting her, and in my
Thinking
heart,
maybe that's Bergie.
yes, in my heart,
Dave's on in 30 minutes, right, Winch?
because the opposite was just too hard for me to imagine.
It wasn't. Weeks passed, then a message from her neighbor with this post of a missing cat seen wandering in the neighborhood.
And then this random stray.
All right, then, Twitch people, I'm going to hang out for another 30 minutes.
And it looked like
I'll keep you company until producer Dave comes on.
Says, yes, it even has a nick in its ear.
Rhea says she connected with the local trappers who found Bergie through their posted social media page.
We already have the trapping skills, and so it was obvious to us that this is something we could do.
Amy Dresser and Lexi Vanderhoven, who volunteer with the group,
Lexi Vanderhoven
made the work of finding missing cats after the fire their personal mission, posting about the cats receiving donations from cat
We'll
food.
keep everybody company until Media Winch and producer Dave come
How to
on.
rescue hooked us up with another rescue who's out in the Palisades.
Oh, you were probably driving. I'm going to
13 cameras.
Cameras captured Bergie coming for food in the
I'm going to try to be the next NBC News
All the
anchor.
while, Amy and Lexi.
I want to take Lester Holt's
The
spot.
first night, I just kept holding her and cradling her, and she just wanted to be comforted, and I was like, you have to be someone's baby.
On the eve of Valentine's Day, Rhea holds Bergie
I'm not NBC enough for NBC.
after the fire.
I just wouldn't let go of her.
Yeah. And then when she came home, she was
very excited to see her friends.
She was, especially
Oh.
my dog Ruby.
Oh.
That feels amazing to me.
No, they should let me do the news. I'll wear a suit,
Yeah,
but with a bandana that matches
That
the.
they have trapped
like the
more
suit
than
and
20
tie.
cats so far.
Yeah.
Part of 5 reunions like Rhea and Bergie, with 2 more
I
waiting to
keep
be
the hair.
reunited with their
I keep
owners
the Fu
as we
Manchu.
speak. In Altadena, Lolita Lopez, NBC4 News.
I will compromise
month after the Eaton fire,
and say perhaps like I will do a beard instead of the Fu Manchu and keep the hair. If we have to compromise on something in order to get the job.
This story you will see for the first time and only on NBC4.
No. I can do a beard.
4 weeks old.
We come in negotiating that the Fu Manchu stays.
Wiley, a survivor.
You think they let me have oh shit, I do a mustache.
Her own resilience.
I have never done a mustache before.
Probably 15 minutes looking all over the house. I don't know.
What, like
where
you
she
want me to
went
shave
hide.
it?
And it was getting closer and closer, and so I finally just had to leave.
Rhea's house, right below the now barren hillsides, destroyed. She says
The bandana stays on, babe.
she had hope.
Fergie has this little tiny,
Oh my god, the cat's named Fergie.
and that's kind of her one thing that I was going to use. But the cat at the
A
Amazing
Fergalicious song?
But we kept visiting her, and in my
Thinking
heart,
maybe that's Bergie.
yes, in my heart, I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Because the opposite was just too hard for me to imagine.
It wasn't.
They sampled that?
Then a message from her neighbor with this post of a missing cat.
Everybody's sampling Fergie now or something.
And then this random stray email shows up that says, we found this cat.
YouTube people.
And it looked like hers.
Podcast people. Go ahead, light one up,
yes,
tip one back. It's all right. That will fun for the sack.
With the local trappers.
I'm Justin Freakin.
their post-
We'll see you
We are-
Sunday night on the Troll Patrol
So it
live.
was obvious to us that this is something we could do.